Hello, hello, and welcome back to another psychic sleep session. Hopefully, a bit of positive escapism for you wherever and whenever you come across this, with the added bonus that we are strengthening the communication, the language uh, used between the subconscious and the conscious mind. So, yay, bonus. And even more of a bonus than all the rest of it is the, the magic of relaxation, of what it is and what it can do for us. So if you haven't started already, please relax. Feel invited to relax. It's a suggestion to relax. How good could it feel if you were to relax? Maybe you'd like to set your breath to a smoother and deeper setting and let that continue on as we visualize. Or actually look at, for those that are looking at the video, the art from the message from in between this week is of Lance in a... I'm trying not to talk down about about the art, because I want to say childlike in a good way, but more a little free-flowing with the movement and the gestures, kind of indicating that it was cobbled together over time by different designers. Each of these people that have been a part of this club, because what is it? It's a treehouse, a clubhouse, a little city in a tree with stairs leading up into it. And if you look towards the middle and then the top, the left, you'll notice a window with a shadow in it, and that does appear to be Lance's shadow in that one window. We always got to have him in there somewhere. Also, shout out to the extension cable cord that I drew in, because no fort is complete without bootleg electricity, right? And there's a sign that's hanging from the tree that says HVO with the O crossed out and the word optional written in there. I did that in reference to the message part that's about to come up. But also wanted to point out this was not, I'll use the words clubhouse of toxic positivity here shortly, and I didn't set out to draw a toxic clubhouse. This was just what came out, so I thought a little bit of clarity around there might help things along somehow, some way, some when, somewhere. And where and when, here and now. Let me make sure that I've got the mic on. I know that may sound silly, but I have a 50-minute recording without the mic from last Sunday, and I left it up as a reminder to myself to... there's just new things that I have to check in this format, right? And I've got that there. Oh, might as well go ahead and read the message from in between this week. I think I'm getting jumpy and antsy. I want to switch over to the video loop. I want to remember all the things that I would like to happen, and I have to let them go. To be here, to be now, to not be years away in either distance, worrying or repairing. Let's pull it back from those depths a bit, though, because this is a psychic sleep for feeling a little less miserable. Joy can be an act of rebellion in trying times. How odd. How interesting. Remember, misery loves company, and the miserable are easier to herd like livestock. Putting aside the benefits of joy in the face of uncertainty, the yogic concept of ananda, or bliss, can be confronting. What could possibly be wrong with bliss, one might ask? In the low lows, it feels like blame and shame that seems to imply that we are at fault for all the times when we are not feeling good, which is dismissive to the litany of responses, of reasons that is not always true. High vibes only should be an invitation to uplift, not a sign outside a clubhouse of toxic positivity. Not allowing yourself to experience joy grows from the mulch of self-criticism and trauma. When everything is telling you to be afraid of and angry with one another, allow yourself to enjoy moments of joy. Give yourself moments of joy. Share moments of joy. Find them where you can and don't let the reserves run dry. Miserable is manipulable. This week's 3-card draw is number 3, the Empress, number 13, Death, and the 4 of Cups, inviting us to consider A. Ideas are ready to emerge. They've already transformed. B. Reduce, reuse, recycle. And C. Don't turn into a grumpy pants because you thought too hard about something. And checking back in with our relaxation levels, our successes up to this point. The little collective wins of all the small ways that we did not tense back up or go searching for the next worry, the next problem, the next fire to be put out. The rest and digest part of ourselves, ourselves, shouldn't be so easily diminished. Relaxing doesn't come the same, and with the same ease from one person to the next. So let's all just take a moment for ourselves, on behalf of ourselves, setting the weak, the trouble, the whatever has built up in the mind in response to the world that we perceive around us. Maybe we can set that anxiety aside for a moment, or let it go. Or set it go, apparently, will be the new phrase. The baggage will be there for you to rediscover, to trip over, to come back to, however you want to interact with it. But just for a moment, can you give yourself permission to just relax? restore. Refill in the blank. The benefits are numerous. Because we store tension whether we realize we're doing it or not, and all too often we don't notice it until it is incapacitating. So maybe you were building up steam to get into a fight that needs to happen. Or maybe we can let the top off and air out. Let the energies balance. And then see what's on the other side of that release, what might be possible, what might have shifted. Always keeping with us that curiosity, that childlike wonder, not that childish aspect. And not all stress that's hanging on acts the same. It's not a hink in the lower back for everyone. It's not tight hamstrings for everyone. It's not jaw clenching for everyone. But just in case we've collected any stress just from everyday life that we're not realizing we're holding on to, let's double it up with a body scan. Are there any tensions in your feet that would like to make themselves known? Just think about your feet for a moment. Squeeze them, and then relax them. Did that make a big difference in how they feel? You can do it again, where you contract the feet, squeeze it, and then spread the toes wide, and then relax it. Noting any sensations there. Whether maybe you had stored any tension in your feet, which now are screaming for a massage or a little more attention. And that's the other side of self-healing, is doing what one needs to do to repair and reintegrate and interact with their ongoing levels of health, stress, however you want to measure it. What about the heel, the ankle, the calf, the knee? What could be affectionately called the lower legs? You can try the tense and let go, or you could imagine that your legs are bent at the knee and your feet are dangling down into some fresh, clear, clean water. Imagine doing that obligatory foot splash of left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Splish splash. What would it feel like to be relaxed in this part of our body? And does someone have tight calves? That's a place that tension will get stored, as well as heels and ankles and knees. All of those can hold tensions. Which is another reason that yoga is so good for us. Gotta give a shout out to the big why. Why? Because it feels good. Yoga. If you've ever had a cramp Our Charlie horse down there. What areas, as we do this scan, might you come back to later and give a little more physical TLC to? We're just doing the scan, noticing, shifting our awareness to the upper legs, the thighs, the glute. And you can add the pelvis in now or later, your choice. But we're relaxing the areas around the upper leg. So remember, if tensing helped before, imagine it contracting from the feet up into and around the pelvis, and then letting it go. And if you were to let that relaxation cascade down a mountainside, like start from a little bitty thing and become an avalanche of relaxation, where might you be feeling that? Maybe there's a sensation in the outer glutes. Maybe there's a sensation that showed up at the knees this time, even though we went higher. We're just noticing. Now, let's move to the glutes and the lower abdomen. You can squeeze all of that. From booty to belly button. Contracting, squeezing, and then letting it go. You can contract and relax a couple more times if you need to, but once or twice to get the visualization rolling. And you look for any tensions that you normally hold there. As someone who is prone to sucking in their gut a lot, I carry a lot of tension there, naturally and easily. Perhaps, as may have happened down in the legs, there is a little bit of muscle tenderness, muscle soreness from whatever we've just been asking it to do. And as with all of the body, there is a balance of tension and relaxation. From the belly button to the shoulders. Scanning this area. Noticing if we feel anything, especially in the back of the heart, that area of our chest, between the shoulders. A whole lot of tension can hide there. If you've ever had a sore neck in your traps and the shoulders, little too much downward dog, feeling it in the lats. Maybe these are good aches, or maybe they're not. Maybe they speak to imbalance and you notice that your right side is just way much more clenched than your left. And that may take relaxing on one side and increasing awareness in the other, but finding that balance. That simultaneous focus and letting go. Scanning that torso. Maybe When you get in go mode or too stressed out, you tend to eat or drink things that make the acid build up inside to where one feels more acidic, and then you notice it, that pressure in that frontal column from the belly to the heart. Wherever you might store tension, again, other parts of the body may pop into the mind and seem distracting. It could also be connected in some way. It's there for you to find out if you want. But if, as we said, noticing some heartburn, maybe that's indicative of different imbalances. Maybe you can tell in this body scan that you sleep on your right side more, so it feels more stretched out but has a different kind of ache in it than the left one does. Or whatever balance specific to you in your here and now. We don't have to conjure up old pains, just noticing areas that favor holding on to tension and what comes up when we start to relax these systematically. Before we move to the head, let's get our arms and hands and fingers involved in this. And you might notice that just shifting your awareness there causes this cascade of relaxation. That's fine. Again, we're just scanning. So at this point, we might scan which parts are eager to let go. That are like, oh yeah, you're looking at me, now I can let this go. Like the light of your awareness evaporates. The dusty cloud. Or whatever visual metaphor you are playing with at the moment. You can also look at it another way. Between the shoulders, the elbows, and the hands, where are you holding more tension at this moment? Shoulders, elbows, hands. Isn't it interesting? With a little bit of awareness, a little creativity thrown on top, it opens up worlds of information. And I'm going to take a moment to remind myself that it's okay that I am easily overwhelmed. And if I notice that happening, I can calm down and uncomplicate things. Which fits along with our body part metaphor. The hands hold on to things. That is one of their most important functions. Just noticing any differences in the areas where one shoulder might be speaking to you, one finger. Noticing not only for data collection, but thinking about our future practices. Which part of the body so far have you thought the most about circling back around to and spending some time with the particular tensions in that area? Okay. We can't leave the neck and the head out. We've done the shoulders, knees, and toes. We need head on top of our shoulders type healing. And we are going to facilitate that just by sending our awareness to the tensions that exist in this physical region of our manifestation. We've probably become expert tension hunters. So take into account the face, any tension the forehead might be holding, any tension the scalp might be holding, the eyebrows, the ears, cheeks, the eyes, and all the muscles around the eyes. So much subtle tension. And any glaring tension in your eyes should be dealt to. Breathing ice pack, medical health care professional. But all of us know the ache of tired eyes. We use them so much. An integral part of our communication system between the outside and the inside. So, relaxing the eyes and all muscles around the eyes, encouraging them to relax, and noticing, allowing the face to shift to accommodate this relaxation. Do you have any tension in the nose region? Are you someone that can feel their sinuses? How relaxed or tense they may feel at the moment? What about the jaw? Any tension there? Hiding? Sometimes I store tension in my teeth, as silly as that sounds, so check the teeth. The lips, the tongue, the back of the throat. And we could follow that down into the body, looking for any other tensions that may be lurking beneath, but we can save that for another time. Just relaxing after that body scan. Letting any worked up energies settle a bit. This next exercise was a come through this week, as in it just came from somewhere. I give it up to the Om. But it's a breathing visualization practice. So let's take our awareness to our breath. allowing the breath to become smoother and deeper. Giving yourself permission to let it feel good. Let it help to make you feel better in whatever ways you are looking to in this moment. And imagine your breath as a colored gaseous mist. That once it gets either within your aura or enters the nose, imagine that you see it turning colors from the clear air that we walk through and exist in and swim about in. But once that enters the body, enters a sort of sense of self, a marker of self, you see it as a color, and you can change this color. And maybe instinctually that is what you need to do in this moment, so take that next couple of breaths to discover its color or shift it to your favorite hue for the rest of this visualization practice. Tonight I'm going with teal, gas, teal mist, and gold sparkles. That's my starting breath. What's yours? Letting the rhythm stay slow and smooth. What if we were to add a dash of celebration into that breath, into that colored mist? And what do we mean by that? That if you could breathe in the smells of celebration, maybe that's the smells of a family reunion, maybe that's the smells or the sounds of a birthday party. Maybe it's the sound and smell of champagne. Whatever represents getting in the mood to celebrate. And watch as that thought changes the color the quality, the consistency, however it wants to change in your mind's eye in a positive way. Add positive feelings to this. And then imagine breathing in those celebration. Oh, yes, I just had the fairgrounds smell waft at me, and fair food. Because that to me says let go and have fun. And you can add more than one form of celebration to the breath. But once it's added, breathe it in. And if your brain tries to lead you down a path of bad smells, per se, bring it back in. We're focusing on adding to the good time, and that breathing in this energy will help us change our state, aligning us more with that frequency, with that feeling. And noticing how a bit of celebration can go a long way. And just like I hope you've continued breathing, I hope you've continued visualizing. If the mind wanders, bringing it back to the task at hand. Find your breath, find your body, find your practice. And next, to our gaseous concoction, let's add a dash of humor. How long's it been since you laughed last? How long's it been since you laughed the longest you've ever laughed? Not to be looked at in a sad or mournful way, to be like, oh, joy is so far in the past. We can bring those moments of past, bring that into us. How? With this very visualization. We're adding it representationally as a color slash texture, whatever you want to, and I mean that in an artistic way. Your gaseous gas can be whatever you want. Mine has a little bit of an, if orange sherbet and lime sherbet were floating sparkles, there's that on top of my teal and gold. And allow them to harmonize in the mind as well, but humor is what we are adding in. How that air feels and hurts when you've laughed so hard that you start making ridiculous noises, which only trigger more laughter. for more humorous responses. A little funny to break up the sad times. Like we said earlier, sometimes joy is an act of rebellion. So, what if you allowed yourself to fully imagine having this? So fully that for a moment, reality blurs and there's not a difference. You're there. Or you're wherever you are. Which often everybody says is exactly where you're supposed to be. As hard as that is to hear sometimes. Everybody's comfortable with time being an illusion. We need to. I want to ride the train of space as an illusion as well. And of course, we need love. Because everybody needs love. There's so many different kinds of love. Spiritual love, love of family, love of the significant other. The love of owning a pet. Each of these has sounds and sights and smells associated with them, so as you're holding onto your mist that you are breathing, for we have not let that practice go, we are breathing in this mist. This glowing gas. And breathing in love. What does love smell like? I associate freshly washed laundry with love. There are other things that I love, and there are sounds and smells and sights that I associate with them. And just by the power of my imagination, I am transforming that, transmuting that, translating that. Again, if you find yourself lost in thought or drifting out there a bit, find your body, find your breath, find your practice. Practice is breathing in this colored air, this special representation of pulling these energies in and using metaphors of smell and taste, sound and sight to evoke these sensations and transform them into a visible change in your mist. your cloud of prana or chi or whatever you want to call it. It's colored air right now. And have color combinations crept in that you are not happy with. And you can pluck them, set them to the side. Maybe rinse them off. See if there's any wisdom to be gained from interacting with them. Is that another metaphor of resistance showing up? So, a couple more breaths, breathing it in, breathing in the memories of something that you love to do. And we could go on forever adding into the experience, but we're going to add one more thing that came through. So for whoever needs this out there, we're going to add more than a dash of closure, of wrapping things up, closing chapters, beginning new ones. Fresh beginnings that were made easily more so by having a sense of closure, of being able to put something away or be done with it. Maybe that smell is, like for me, the smell of spray cleaners and vacuum, because the thing I put off might have a couple more lessons to show me via my resistance. And so when I think about it the most, it's that I end up cleaning those smells. And that's usually a chapter into my life, or like there's a certain ritual that I do every once in a while. Well, not that often, it's been a minute. But to close the season out. Like right now, it's about to be spring in the northern hemisphere. And so the sounds and the smells of putting winter away are of sweaters going into boxes, and those days where you just have to hold the door open because the outside smells so wonderful and inviting. And I associate that with closing out the season into the next. So maybe closure smells like paperwork for you. Or planting a seed in the smell of the earth. The sound, is there a dial tone anymore? Does that exist? The sound of nobody being on the other line of a phone. Or the sound of a call ending. There we go. And again, we're not accepting colors that that we're not interested in, that we're not ready for right now. So no damping or darkening, only adding to the positive interaction field that we maintain with our intent. Mm. I'm having more sounds of closure offer themselves up. Maybe, again, personal memory, maybe it's the smell of hairspray at graduation. That's another smell of closure, or that I associate with the endings of things and the beginnings of others. So allow that to positively change the color of the mist. Set the other stuff aside for washing and reconsideration later. And for me, that was the introduction of a dark orange and a deep burgundy-esque red, and a whole bunch of other grayer and darker ones that I plucked out because I didn't want them to be a part of this right now. That's different practice. Adding to the positive experience. Finding a color and consistency of the gas that I'm happiest with. And then sitting for the moment imagining how those practices that we've just done can help you in the near future, or how it might have shifted things energetically for you. You might have moved things around. So let's just sit for a couple of breaths and settle. Don't worry about the thoughts. Don't label them or fix them. Just let them come and go as we settle. I'm imagining the feeling of being a puzzle piece that is put into place. And the breath right after that. Or of being the game Tetris. Allowing them to settle in a favorable configuration for you, or for our highest good that includes all of us, you and I. All right. For those that are headed off into the lands of slumber, thank you for your time. Thank you for your participation. Like, share, subscribe. Feel good, feel well, be happy as you allow yourself to drift off. For those of us that need to come back out of whatever state we may have achieved, we will begin that by letting all the practices go. And taking our awareness back to the sensation of the breath. How cool air comes in and warmer air goes right back out. Cool air in, warm air out. One more time, cool air in. Follow that sensation back into the body. Back into the body, all the way back into the physical body and the right here and the right now. Let that breath go. Let the breathing return to normal. As you roll over onto your right side for a moment, if you are lying down on your back and are getting up, or returning to a more seated position. Being gentle with yourself, taking your time. Once again, thank you all very much for being here. The 16th of this. My spiel's coming out of order. Usually it just flows so naturally. I might have went a little deep too. Hari Om Tat Sat, my friends. This has been Psychic Sleep for the 16th of March, 2025. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for helping me do the thing that I want to do. Like, you being you and listening to this helps me be me. So that's awesome. Thank you for that. And also, just because I need to get better at talking about it, I feel. If you'd like to say thanks or help out, you could like and comment or subscribe or share. Or if you want to donate to the cause, I've got links at santoshdavid333.com. All right. Thank you all again, and just say like love, 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 love. Peace out and feel good. Feel well. Be happy.